Muy buenas noches, gente de bien, gente de mal, pecadores estándar, ciudadanos promedio y fauna silvestre que nos honra con el favor de su presencia hoy y como todos los años en su programa favorito Trashkwondo. El programa que tendremos esta noche es un programa muy especial, es el último del año, pues el cierre de la tercera temporada, no de la tercera, de la sexta temporada. Es el cierre de la sexta temporada y bueno, pues es impresionante lo rápido que se fue este año, pero es impresionante también lo rápido que se fueron 6 temporadas. Es impresionante la cantidad de programas que llevamos al aire semana a semana. No semana a semana, sabemos que hay veces que es una semana sí, un mes no, una semana sí, un mes no, pero de repente nos enrachamos y sí salimos cada semana. La cosa es que, pues hoy más que nada, pues es un programa de agradecimiento, es un programa en donde vamos a reflexionar sobre las cosas que hubo este año, los retos que vienen para el siguiente año. Y tenemos además a una persona muy especial que nos acompaña esta noche. Lo presentaré a continuación, pero antes de presentar a la estrella de la noche, tengo que presentar, pues, al co-host de este programa. Él no es una estrella, pero sí es compañero, amigo, cuyo estatus migratorio no se puede revelar. Y con el dedo chueco, él es Boris Carrillo. Mi Boris, muy buenas noches, ¿cómo estás?
Muy buenas noches, mi chiquilín. Me duele que no me presentes como si yo no fuera una estrella, mi chiquilín.
Tú sabes que
A,
eres.
a mí me duelen ese tipo de comentarios, pero mira, me las voy a aguantar. Mi chiquilín, muy buenas noches. ¿Cómo estás? Qué gusto verte.
Buenas noches, mi Boris. Bien, todo, la verdad, tranquilo. Es un día complicado hoy, es sábado, inicio de vacaciones, ya la gente no quiere saber nada, se quiere ir, andan ahí, aparte en sábado, pues ya sabes que es el día favorito de la gente, pues para salir, bailar, entregarse a los placeres corporales. Entonces, pues es día complicado, pero bueno, también pues, no podíamos dejar pasar este, esta fecha porque es el cierre de la sexta temporada, mi Boris. 6 temporadas hemos estado en esta onda.
6 años, mi querido chiquilín, desde que iniciamos esto, desde que pues la gente empezó a entender el concepto que queremos llevar. Y miren que se ha convertido, mi chiquilín, en una piedra para muchos y en un pequeño relief para otros. Entonces, mi querido chiquilín, gracias por estos 6 años. No me estoy declarando. Ya no tenemos nada tú y yo. Ya quedó claro. Cada quien su camino, ¿verdad? Tú sigue tus amores, yo los míos. Pero hoy cumplimos 6 años, chiquilín. Hoy cerramos la sexta temporada, más bien. Hoy cerramos la sexta temporada. Y oye, mi querido chiquilín, qué buen año, ¿eh? Muy interesante, ha sido un año de mucho trabajo, fue mucho, mucho, mucho trabajo, pero ¿sabes qué? Principalmente bien agradecido con toda la gente que pues nos ha seguido toda esta jornada, todo este tiempo y pues el día de hoy como una manera de agradecimiento, pues tenemos una gran sorpresa, chiquilín. Nosotros nos andamos con sorpresas grandes, no con sorpresitas. Sorpresas grandes, chiquilín, grandes,
Sorpresas grandes.
importantes.
Y mira, mi Boris, si para nosotros fue un buen año,
Oye,
para el invitado de
espérame, quiero hacer un
hoy,
paréntesis. Quiero hacer un paréntesis. Traigo aquí, no traigo delay, qué bueno que no traigo delay,
qué bueno,
pero,
sí.
pero traigo un sonido ahorita de un gato que está duro y duro. Entonces de repente si lo oyen, bueno, esa es una. La otra, si escuchan explosiones, es porque vivo en Xochimilco, la fiesta está todo lo que da y hay cohetes. Y si no están contentos, vengan aquí al barrio, al pueblo y díganle a la gente que no avienten cohetes.
Que
A
no
ver qué
están
les dicen.
contentos, sí.
A ver qué les dicen.
Oye, qué bueno, porque ya estaban haciendo ahí cooperacha para un micrófono para el Boris y ahí
Por
se estaban
favor.
juntando para que, pues sobre todo porque les gusta escucharte y la última vez, pues como que no estuvo muy bueno ahí la manera en la que cerraron.
Fue provocado, chiquilín, fue provocado. Yo me gusta dejar a la gente picada. Claro, así de simple, mi chiquilín. Perdóname, sigue con lo que estabas a punto de presentar
No,
o
te
lo
decía
alargamos
que
más.
no, para nosotros fue un gran año, la verdad. O sea, yo creo que para el programa, y para nosotros de manera individual fue un gran año para todos, pero para el invitado que tenemos hoy, sin duda fue, yo creo que uno de sus mejores años como coach, como, como educador, como profesor de Taekwondo. eh, y creo que si bien él ya era un referente o ha sido un referente durante muchos años, me parece que este año se alcanzó a consolidar como pues, una de las principales figuras en este mundillo de los puños y las patadas. Y, y bueno, pues ha sido, es alguien a quien ya ha estado en el programa, estuvo hace mucho tiempo en el programa, creo que por ahí en la temporada 2 o 3 estuvo en un programa con nosotros. Me acuerdo porque todavía hacíamos el programa en las mañanas. Entonces, pues bueno, sin más preámbulo, déjenme presentarlo. No necesita gran presentación. Su nombre es conocido a nivel mundial, su nombre es
Claro.
respetado a nivel mundial. Lo fue como competidor, lo es ahora como coach y también pues lo seguirá siendo porque no nada más es reconocido en su propio país, sino ahora ya también anda haciendo de las suyas con selecciones como Brasil. Sabemos que también tiene la mano por ahí con selecciones como Haití. Entonces, es un gusto para mí presentar al the one and only Mr. Coach Juan Moreno. How are you, Coach? Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be. First of all, I didn't know you guys were doing this for 6 years. And Boris, you are a star. You're a star. Don't worry about it. For me, you're a star. I don't speak Spanish well, but I understand pretty good. So
You should.
you're a star.
Thank
You
you,
should.
Master Moreno.
You know, my sister is married with an American man. So and just like you, he doesn't speak Spanish, but he understands most of it because he should.
Yes, my Spanish, I'm a little shy speaking Spanish. Like when I'm at home with my family, I speak, and with my in-laws here in Mexico, I try my best. I was just watching the football game with my cuñado and uh, Jonathan, and so we were talking back and forth. But to do a full conversation, I'm a little embarrassed. So I apologize. Thank you for doing this in English, but I am so happy to be here with you guys. I'm a fan. I watch you guys all the time. I know you guys are passionate about the sport of Taekwondo, but more importantly for me, you guys, you're a voice. You're a voice of reason for people that can't speak up and people that don't want to speak up or are afraid to speak up. So I love the way you guys talk about the world of Taekwondo and specifically your country, but just in general, I'm a big fan of you guys. So thank you very much for having me here. Super happy.
Master
Thank you.
Moreno, thank you for your words. And I apologize for me for my bad English.
No, no, no.
You're gonna listen again English because I don't know a really good English. So you're a very smart person. That's why you think like that. Not like Chava. He don't know nothing about me. I'm a star. I'm a really rock star. Chava is like that. He wants to be the one. He wants to be the rock star. I
It's okay.
understand
It's
it.
okay.
It's okay, Chava. You first.
So, Coach, tell us about we were commenting just a few moments ago that this year was an awesome year for us for the show, but I think that it was a very good year for you. What can you tell us about your year, your 2025? Because in my opinion, I mean, I don't know the whole, I don't know the whole picture of your career, but as far as I can see, as far as I know from your career, I think this might be one of the best years that you've ever had as a
Mhm.
coach, right?
Yeah, listen, obviously I've been working with Brazil since 2019. And I always say, I constantly say step by step by step by step. And I really mean that because everybody thinks about something, when people win, it's just right now. And they don't want to look at the steps. They don't want to look at the programming. They don't want to look at the team, how the team is built. Not just the athletes, but the administration, the technical committee. And this year was a great year, and everything kind of fell into place. um, I always say you have to be a little lucky and you have to be prepared. I'm not going to sit here and say that we're the best and everything is great, but it was nice to see the plan come together. It was nice to see the athletes really excel when they were supposed to. Not the day before, not the open before, but in the moment. That's what you're supposed to do. Whether it's a world championship or Olympic game, you're supposed to do it in the Super Bowl. You're supposed to do it in the World Cup. That's how you're defined. And this year it was a great year for the team of Brazil. You know, step by step, we built the team, and you know, it came together at the World Championships. And you know, not just the ones that won, because obviously we had 2 golds and 2 silvers, but we had, I think, 3, if I'm not 3 or maybe 4 quarterfinalists. And even the ones that didn't make it, so we had a boy in '63 that lost his 3rd match to Jun Jung, but like he fought extremely well. He got deep into the competition and won a round against Jun Jung. No, actually, he didn't win a round. He got a close round against Jun Jung. So when I see that kind of performance, it makes me proud that the team is moving forward. And that's all you can ask for as a coach. So you're right. It was probably my most successful year. I always say that my position, my title is head coach, but Brazil does not have a centralized training. We are, you know, kind of broken up. And so it's difficult to bring everybody together to do good programming. So I always tell people I'm a head coach / technical director. I have the authority to do whatever I want, but I'm smart enough to work with the top coaches in Brazil from the top programs and empower them and strengthen them to do what they do best. And I think that was one of my superpowers, is to put my ego aside and say, what's the best for the team? What's the best right now for the team? And this year it was awesome. I can't complain. I'm super, super happy. Very proud of the team.
So you've been working with Brazil for a couple of years now. So tell us, how was the first moments that you were in there? Because in Latin America, I don't know much from Brazil, but in Latin America in general, and in Mexico specifically, we have this thing that whenever some foreigner gets into the national team, immediately, you know, the nationalism goes overloaded, and everybody is like, oh, but why is there someone from some other country if we have a very big talent in Mexico? And so then the coach faces the challenges as coach, and also as a person, and also as a not national. So that's in Mexico. And I know in some other places from Latin America it's mostly the same. But how does it work in Brazil, and how and if that's the case also in Brazil, how did you manage to move around?
It's a great question, but it's interesting you say that, because Mexico for years have had foreign coaches come in, Korean coaches specifically, come in and assimilate and do well. I don't know how it was received in the beginning, but from as long as I can remember, they've had a lot of Korean influence. Brazil, the same thing. Early on, they had a big Korean influence. But for years, it was just only the Brazilian athletes. And when I went in there, I'm not going to say it was easy. I'm not going to lie and tell you that, oh, everybody accepted me and said, oh my gosh, thank you for coming. I'm sure there was some people that were against it. But, you know, what I tried to do was not come in and bully my way around and tell everybody what they were doing was wrong, because I didn't believe that. I thought there was a lot of good pieces and a lot of good athletes, but there was some things missing. Like I said, there was some organization missing. There was some team management missing. There was some programming missing. There was some building a real Brazil grouping together. Because even though it was Brazil, they had a bunch of entities, and they were all kind of fighting with each other and trying to prove who was the best, which is natural in a combat sport. Individual, all the coaches and all the athletes, they want to see their athletes do the best. I was neutral. I was impartial. I have no emotional attachment to anybody. So I can say Chava's the best or Boris is the best. And I don't care what your coach thinks or what your coach thinks. I'm just going to do what I believe. in my professional opinion, is best for the team of Brazil. So I always tell them, I'm like, guys, I don't have Brazilian, blood in my veins, but I've grown to understand them. I've grown to appreciate them. I've grown to love them. And it's been a work in process. But let me go back to, you said that you asked me initially, because I did something initially. What I did is I extended my hand to a couple of the top coaches. Instead of pushing them away and saying, oh, Juan is here, let me show you how to do it, I put my hand out and I privately, I said, listen, I don't only want you, I need you. I need you to help me make this better, to fix this. And I'm going to extend my hand. If you slap my hand, that's okay. Then you can go, I'll be addition by subtraction. But if you shake my hand, let's move forward. Let's go and let's try our best. And that's what we did, step by step. And here we are, 5 years later, and we're doing great. We're doing well. And not just, with the national team, we have programs with our cadets and talent ID, with our coaching programs. We have athlete or coaches that go through 6-month programs. 6-month programs of online tutorials and take tests. And this is how we try to help them bring their level up, so someday they can come to the national program. So it's not just what you see at the big events. There's a lot of things underneath. There's a lot of people in Brazil that are working together with the support of the Olympic Committee, and good things are happening. I mean, it's like I told you, it's never perfect. It's never easy. We never have enough people, enough money, enough resources, but we're trying. We're trying hard, and good things are happening. Good things are happening.
Master Moreno, so I understand, and most of the people, it's hard to understand that the results are part of the process.
Yes.
And this is really hard to understand because everyone wants easy results for yet,
Yeah.
not for next now 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 4 years. It's for yet. So, second one, I think your superpowers are it's not you just came. You came to Brazil to make a great family, to unite the country, and everyone believes in the process. I think I'm missing the part that everyone was, like most of. I don't know if everyone was happy with Juan Moreno in Brazil. You are not a gold coin, Mr. Moreno.
Yeah.
So, but the results and the process. So when you, as a coach, as a head coach, you said head coach slash tactical director. So I think you're successful because you take every detail. So that make you great, Master Moreno. Congrats,
No,
congrats. It's
I
awesome to
appreciate it.
hear.
You're right, Boris. You're right.
And let
I
me tell you
mean,
something. You are wrong because you said Chava is better than me. You are wrong, Master Moreno. Like before, I said I'm better than this big guy. I'm just kidding, Master.
no, no, you're right. I mean, listen. The results don't come right away. I mean, it takes a little bit of time. Um, like I said, what I do know about this sport, I mean, listen, I've been in this a long time. I mean, I've been in high performance since 1988. We're talking almost 40 years. I I take a lot of pride in that because there's not many people that have been around that long. There's hot people, coach. You guys know, Boris, Chava, you guys know. There's these coaches that come up and boom, like a star, and they have a great athlete or a great program. And 2 years later, you never hear from them. Same thing with countries. I
Yeah.
take a lot of pride that I've been around since 1988, whether it's for the United States or with Mexico or Brazil or whatever it's been. I've been doing it for a long time. So I try to not forget the steps, forget the details, like you said, Boris, the details, because that's what it's about, right? Any successful person in life, business, education, marriage, personal relationship, it's the details. It's saying I love you. It's saying thank you. It's making sure all the trainings are set up for the right time at the right space. This is what makes the difference. It really does. not just a fancy new, let me put a highlight film up, or let me show you this crazy new drill I came up with. It looks good, it's sexy, but that's not what it is. It's a culture. You got to build a culture.
Coach.
Wow.
So talking about that, you've been around for a long, long time, and right now, with Brazil, how do you see yourself for the next Olympic cycle? Are you going to the Olympic Games with still with Brazil, or what are your plans for this new cycle? I know it. I mean, we're starting the cycle, and you've already have great results on the World Championships.
And of course, you
So
have offers, different offers for different countries, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Listen. It's you know what I always tell people?
But you love
I have,
Miami. We know that.
I have offers right now. But I tell everybody, I have one offer that's pretty interesting, but Brazil treats me extremely well. They first of all, we built something special. I've grown to know and enjoy all the athletes and the coaches. The administration, I think, is positive. They work extremely well with the coaching staff and with the athletes and with the Olympic Committee. So Olympic Committee, the staff, the technical committee, and the athletes. I mean, I really feel like it's a good, actually the best I've ever been involved in. So I really enjoy them and appreciate the way that they treat me as a coach and as a person. They respect my family. They respect my personal businesses. It's really good. So right now, 100% my focus is on Brazil. I mean, there's always something that could come along, and I'm a businessman. I'm not going to lie. I mean, sometimes we have to make decisions for ourselves professionally or for our family. But right now, I'm locked in with Brazil, and until that changes, that nothing is gonna. It's there.
Wow, but you make a monster with Brazil. It's an awesome for now. Wow.
We'll see.
And
We'll see.
and again, you build that kind of that relation. That's why the relation is very respectful, because you build it like that. So that's when you start professional, everything runs well. Like,
One of the high performance directors in Brazil, which I like very much, he said, if you have one, you have nothing. If you have two, you have nothing. You need three. And that's hard in our sport to have a 68, a number one, number two, and number three.
you have
But I like
more.
his,
yeah,
I
you
know.
have more. Yeah. Come on,
Listen,
Mr. Moreno.
listen. But we have some divisions that we don't have that. In men heavyweight right now, we don't. But we have some talent. I'm gonna tell you that. But my point is, I like the way he challenges me and us as a group, because you're right. What happens if the one gets hurt and hurts his knee, hurts his ankle? What happens if she tears her? What? So it's always a challenge for every federation, but that is our goal. Our goal is to try to find and build a number two and number three and a number four, because then you have a real program. You have the Korea. When you guys grew up and I grew up, Korea had 10 deep, right? Iran, so deep. It's different nowadays, but there's not many countries that have 2 or 3 deep. So that's something that we're trying to do for sure in the Pan American region. I think we're way ahead of, I think, everybody. I mean, I know that may be a little arrogant. I don't know. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I think we are. I
But the
mean,
truth is the
It's the
truth.
truth. The truth is the truth. It is what it is.
And and
it is
and,
what
and
it is.
also, coach, there's it's not like you
Sorry, not
are.
sorry.
Also, it's not
Go
like
ahead,
you're
Tom.
making up stuff. It's not an opinion. I mean, results are there. Everything is there. We cannot deny that Brazil right now, I think, is, as you say, way ahead of everyone in the Pan region.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually uh, some country can approach, but right now I think that I see
Yeah.
that very difficult
It's
because
just a question of time, Chiquilin. It's a question of time. It's there. There is a lot of countries in the in the region that they're far for years, bro. So it's not like easy. Like, okay, well, next 4 years we're gonna be close to Brazil. It's really hard to. I mean,
Listen,
it,
it's
it's
Mexico and USA. It's Mexico and USA. That's the only two that could even come close, you know, in this era. Obviously Mexico has the number of people, they probably have overall talent, they have money, they have resources. They're the only ones that I think
What's wrong, man?
could
Tell us what's wrong. What's wrong with the Mexican team? What's wrong? Tell us. Tell us. Yeah. Tell us.
listen. I'm not going to talk bad about other
No, the
federations
truth.
because no, but because I wouldn't want people talking bad about my federation. Obviously, Mexico is struggling extremely hard, and they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders because of your historical past. You guys have produced medals at the Olympic level to the World Championship level forever, from Oscar Mendiola to the people in my era to Monica Torres to Memo Perez to, for me, the GOAT, Maria Espinosa. I mean, for many reasons of what she's been able to do in her, with her body and her size and the eras. It's a little sad right now that Mexico hasn't been able to step up. I don't know the details. I mean, it seems like there was a coaching void, you know, after, you know, a couple people left or got kicked out or whatever. I see a lot of people jockeying for position, right? You know, who's going to
Yes.
be the person? Who's going to be the man? And again, without a real leader. I always believe everything starts with leadership. And what did I just tell you? Olympic Committee, administration, coaches. That's what we've built in Brazil. And I see some messiness in Mexico right now. I see a little bit of talent. I see a couple divisions that I think are pretty good, not like I've seen in the past, but I don't know why that is. If it's from themselves, coaching, administration, or everything combined in like a mezclado, like just all jumbled up and
Picadillo. It's a picadillo
it's a little,
with chili
it's tough.
beans and yeah, everything.
Chili beans.
So yeah, you're right, Master Moreno. You're right. Everyone is working for no reason. Maybe every goal is different. Their
Yeah.
pocket probably. Okay, now.
But you know what? I think someone needs to, it sounds bad for me to say this. I think someone needs to come in and clean house. Like,
You're right.
listen, I used to tell people, and you know, I'll say this in front of Brazil, I'll say this in front of the world. Like I always said, Mexico would be my dream job. Why? Because I have Mexican blood in my veins, my wife, my family. I have something there. But right now, it's difficult. Like you're gonna need, in my opinion, maybe a generation. You're going to need a generation where you have to kind of rebuild. And I don't like to put limitations on people in the next Olympic Games, but I think you're going to need a generational change where you're going to have to wipe clean, build up, probably fall a little bit short, and then maybe in the next cycle you can have a chance. I mean, that's just from what I'm looking at right now. If I was a coach, if I went to a football team or a baseball team and I saw what was going on right now, what I would be lying if we don't have medals at the World Championships or we don't have medals at the junior. How can I say that we're going to just go to the Olympic Games and get medals? That's just, I mean, there's always a possibility, but if I'm betting money, come on, that's not true. That's not. And it's the same thing for Brazil. I can say right now we have a good chance. We might lose. We might get zero, but at least I can say we have a good chance. Why? We got a World Championship medals. We got Pan Am Game medals. We have people that beat the best people in the world. So that shows you that there's a possibility. But right now, Mexico's a little bit down. It's boggling. It's a little mind-boggling for many people. But I wish them the best. I know they have talent and money and resources, but they need to get reorganized and maybe it's the details. Like you said, Boris, maybe it's the details. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to talk bad about any of the coaches or any of the athletes because I don't know them personally and I don't know the details of what's going on. But from the outside looking in,
Looks
it
bad.
looks a little,
Looks
messy.
bad. For everyone know that the whole world, Master Moreno, like you said, when you have a country with history in Taekwondo, and then in 2025, there's not on the top sports in the country,
Yeah.
like
That's
Okay,
tough.
we're not on the top five like important sports in Mexico. So that's sad.
Who's the top five?
Uh,
Diving,
Diving, archery,
archery,
flag football. Believe it or not,
like
flag
flag,
football.
judo, which they got an Olympic medal last
judo.
Olympic, silver Olympic medal, and the other one I think it was don't remember which was the fifth one, but it was not taekwondo.
Mhm.
Taekwondo was not on the. I think
Yeah,
uh
weightlifting.
no
Yeah.
running again.
Oh,
Athletics. There's a couple of people there. Some runners. So there's this guy that throws hammer and he's
oh
good.
yeah.
And
Okay.
so there are a couple interesting athletes right now in there. So I believe the here in Mexico they want to support them. And Taekwondo right now, well, 0 medals. Forget about medals. We didn't get any quarterfinals on the World Championships. Then
That's tough.
we didn't get
That's
any
terrible.
medals on the under 21 championships. So
Yeah.
and well, we did have some results on the Junior Pan Am Games. We did have some results on the Pan Am Series, but I think it's lying to ourselves. Like, okay, we have medals in the Pan Am region events, which is normal because we're Mexico. But then we go to the World Championships and we get our ass kicked like never before.
Let me ask you something. Let me, because I listen on my own podcast, I criticize the American program. And one of the things I say is, and let me ask you guys, because you'll know better than me. I say, like, do Americans need a good draw, a good bracket to get a medal? Or are they really good? For example, like I don't see a lot of Americans beating Iran in the second match, or Russia in the second match, or Korea in the second match. They lose to them in the semifinal. So everything works out perfectly. They get to the semifinal and then they lose. So I don't know, is Mexico like that too? Like it has to be perfect conditions for them to get to the podium.
I,
Do you understand?
yes, I think that right now, like the state of things in Mexico, I think it is like that. But it's sad because it is dramatic because in the World Championships, every number is wrong. So last year on the 2 years ago on the Grand Prix series, Mexico
Mhm.
was the worst team in every single measurable aspect. I'm
Wow.
uh, talking team as a country that has at least 5 people competing. So
Okay.
Mexico was the worst of them all on every single measurable aspect. Fights won against lost fights, points received against points scored,
Understood.
results, medals overall. So it was the worst team in that manner.
Wow.
And now we go to the World Championships in Wushu, which I think is the maximum level that we
Mhm.
can achieve. So no Mexican was able to get into the quarterfinal round, which is dramatic. So
Very.
forget about the medals. No one was able to get to the quarterfinal round. And of all 16 people competing in there, only 2 of them lost against someone that achieved a medal in the end. So
Ooh,
one of them
okay.
against Uzbekistan that later on won the bronze medal, and
Mhm.
the other one who was Leslie that lost against Milena, which achieved
Mhm.
the silver medal later on.
Silver.
Only them two. All
Wow.
the others lost against someone that didn't even achieve the medal rounds.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that is dramatic. That is sad. That is sad. And let's not stop there. A lot of people lost against most of half of the Mexican team lost against someone that lost the next round.
Yeah.
So that's dramatic. That is sad because it is not only a matter of a bad day, of a bad bracket. It is like Mexico had, and I'm sorry to put it that way, but Mexico had nothing to do on the World Championships. I used to say that that Mexico had nothing to do on Olympic weight category event.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I can say that Mexico, and I was criticized for saying this after the World Championship. I said Mexico has nothing to do on a world level event. And then the under 21 came, and same story.
Yeah.
Up there, I think two people managed to get to the quarterfinal round, which is also sad because on the under 21, just by winning one or two matches, you were in the quarterfinal round.
That's, you know, I was criticized a little bit in the States because I said, come on, you get a bye and win two matches and you get a bronze medal at the world championship level in the under 21. That's not a real world championship. That's a Pan American championship. That's an open.
That's the US Open, yes.
Yeah, stop. This. Let me tell you what, this world championship is scary because some countries didn't do well, and it's not even being taken serious by the big countries yet. You watch it, as we move forward with this world championship level, you're going to see countries like China, Iran and Turkey took it serious, but you're going to see Korea take it more serious. You're going to see France take it more serious, Uzbekistan, Italy. You're going to see some countries take this thing, Spain, take it much more seriously because the average age for Olympic medals is 20,
yes, it's
21,
in that range, yes.
Yeah. And so they're going to take it a lot more seriously. And so if we didn't have results now, when I say we, I'm going to say United States, Mexico, Canada. If we didn't have results now, what's it going to look like in the future? It's going to be more difficult unless something changes, unless there's a dramatic shift in coaching, athletic performance, athletic preparation, blah, 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 blah. So it's a little scary. I mean, it's a difficult time right now for a bunch of countries over here on the Pan American side.
So, Coach Moreno, what do you think about the under 21 championships? I mean, I personally don't see the point, but what do you think about it? I mean, I understand this might be like a transition stage between junior and
Senior.
and senior, but again, if you as a 19-year-old competitor do well at Olympic Games, do well at the World Championships, why would you want to fight under 21? So what do you think about this category in general?
I think it's stupid. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, because exactly what you just said. You had the Morocco, the Tunisia girl who won Junior Worlds, the actual Worlds, and the under 21 Worlds. Yes. You had Aaron Hike guy. Of course, he moved up in weight division. He went to 87. But there's no reason if you're a world champion. You had the Iranian kid. Why would you go down and fight a 21? That's supposed to be a step down. I think if you want to have the 21. If you compete at the world championship level, you can't go to the 21 because you have decided that you're a double. And first, if let's say you go, well, that's not fair one. Okay, if you get a medal at the world championships, there's no reason that you should be eligible to fight a developmental stage tournament. So okay, I see other sports that do it, wrestling and boxing and soccer and whatever. So if Taekwondo wants to do it, that's fine. But you shouldn't choose. You either fight the under 21s or the actual worlds. If you're 18 or 19 and you fight the actual worlds, then you miss your chance to fight in the under 21. You've already decided that you're good enough for that level. And for sure, if you get a medal, you can't go down. There's no way. It's just...
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair.
No, it's not correct. So I think they got to figure it out. Always, one of my big gripes with WT is they overreact. They overreact to everything. You're pushing, so they're going to overreact with the scoring. Too many video replays. Overreact. Take it away. They overreact without calmly sitting down with a bunch of experienced people and make a decision. So I think they overreacted with this under 21 thing. I'm hoping that they can correct themselves and get it to where it makes sense. But I agree with you, Chava. It's a weird thing to let world champions go fight a lesser tournament. That it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So Coach Moreno, I want to go back a little bit on your journey in Brazil, because we've been talking about this year that has been a great year. You've already said that they treat you very well, that you're happy in
Yep.
there, but as as it should be in every job, as it should be in every sport, and as it should be in a coach life, especially in a coach life like yours, that you have a very important position. So I know there's been times where you struggle, where you have to make tough decisions, where you have to make difficult choices. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and how you've come to resolve these issues?
Yeah. I mean, it's listen, first of all, when you have to make tough decisions, you know, half the people are going to be happy and the other half are going to be mad. Half the people are going to like you and the other half are going to say you're a piece of shit. You don't know what you're doing. It's a tough job, you know. And one thing I try to pride myself on is to not answer right away. Like, I'm a very calculated person. Like, if I get mad and I show it, I did that because I wanted you to see me mad. If I wanted to be sad and cry, I do that because I want you to see it. There's very few things that I do in my life that are just so spontaneous that, oh my gosh, what happened? Everything is calculated. And I learned that a long time ago. And the same thing with making decisions on categories, on athletes, on competitions. There's a lot of times that I have to say no. There's many times that I have to say, we're going to do it this way because, and give reasons and rationale. But I understand that, like I said, some people are going to be happy and some people are going to be sad. But I try not to answer right away. I try to think about it, for 24 hours, 48 hours, a couple days to let the emotional adrenaline calm down. Because, sometimes you're like, yeah, let's do it. Or no, let's not do it. Or that's so wrong. Or he's wrong or he's right. And sometimes tomorrow I go, let me think about why he said that. Let me think about why she said that. Let me think about why they want to go there. And then 48 hours later, I can kind of figure it out. And then I just try to go back on my experience and make the best decision that I can. Like I said, right now with Brazil, I'm lucky because I'm not emotionally attached to anybody. There's some people, I'm human. Some people that I'm closer with, I'm nicer with, I drink a beer with, I talk with, but even that, sometimes I gotta say, hey, you fucked up. You're wrong. You're wrong, man. You got to answer for that. And so they respect that I actually am straightforward with them. I'm not mean. I'm not over the top, but I'm just direct and professional. And for that, they take it like that. It's just a decision. It's not personal. It's not like, Boris, I don't like you, and I'm gonna try to pick on you. No. Boris, I don't like that you said that, Chaba is better than you because you're a star and you don't have to, make him feel bad, No, so I try to keep it professional. I really do. I try to, not easy, but that's my mindset and my philosophy.
It's better to be straight.
Yeah.
To be straight.
But I think you have to do that from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You have to be, listen, it sounds crazy. Here's a silly thing. Like at the beginning, I didn't go to dinner with people. I didn't have a beer with people. I didn't want anybody taking advantage of my kindness or just being involved with me. I did my work and I went to my room. I set a precedence, like, I'm here to do a job and do that. I was nice. I was funny. I was kind, but not too nice and not too funny and not too kind. The way I dress, the way I act, the way I arrive on time, I'm the first one there, the last one to leave. Little things like that to set the precedence of, I'm going to be a professional. So when I speak with you, they don't think I'm just coming from an ego standpoint. They take it more of from a professional standpoint. And again, I'm going to say this, like I said earlier, it's never perfect. I'm not saying I have all the right answers. I make some mistakes, and it's not people don't always accept, but I think my percentage is better than worse. So yeah, that's how I try to approach it, and it's been good. It's worked so far.
The way you do it's good. I mean, sometimes you have to take the correct words and try to talk the same language. I mean,
Yeah.
we are coaches, or you are the coach. You are. I mean, I love this tactical director. I want to be like that. Tactical director. Wow. And yeah, it's better to be straight, not like Chava.
you know
Like,
it's it's hard for me, to be honest with you, and the Brazil people know, like, in my gym, my personal gym, listen, I'm the coach, and whatever I say goes. In Mexico, you guys have a sabanims, and very respectful. I mean, people don't, nobody calls me Juan. Hey, Juan, what's up? Nobody. Parents, like, nobody it's coach or Mr. Moreno or master. And I've never told anybody to do that, but nobody calls me by my first name. When I go to Brazil, they're like, hey, Juan. They're like, who? I was like, who are you talking to, man? You talking to me? But that's just their culture. Their culture is very relaxed, and it's taken me a little time to accept that and not fight it. You understand? Because I've made some changes, some detailed changes. I won't tell you what they are, but stuff like that. Like, I know when they say Juan to me, they mean it from a respectful way. Like, I never call Diego or Clayton or Erickson. I'm always like, Coach Diego, Coach Clayton, Coach Erickson, Mr. They call the president by the first name. They're like, hey, Rivinaldo, hey, Junior. I was like, what? Like, it surprised me a lot, but that's the culture. They come down in flip flops and shorts and baseball hats on sideways. Like, that doesn't go with me. I'm like, put some tennis shoes on, take your hat off. Like, but that's their culture. So it took me a little while to understand that and accept that. But I think that's an important part of being a coach and being a leader, is to be strong, but to also understand what the new generation is like. You can't treat people like you did 10, 15, 20 years ago. You say, yes, I can. Yes, I can. I'm not saying be a wimp. I'm not saying let them do whatever they want to you, but you got to understand that these kids live on this nowadays. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. And I hate it. I don't like that they're videotaping each other and videotaping their food, but that's the world we live in right now. So you gotta pick how about this? You gotta pick your battles. I have 4 daughters. You gotta pick your battles. Some things you let go or you let slide, and other things you say, absolutely not. Non-negotiable. We can't do that. And that's kind of the approach that I've had with Brazil, and with all the people. But it's been like I said, a working relationship, and it's working. It's working. It's working.
So, Coach, tell us, how do you see the future of Taekwondo right now, like in general? Because we're having new countries, like making themselves a way into the stars of with Taekwondo. I think Brazil is one of them, but also I'm seeing countries like
Morocco,
Iran that are. I mean, Iran has a great history, a great culture in Taekwondo, but they were off for a little while, and now they're getting back. So I see now Tunis, which is a country that I would never imagine
Never.
ever in the world, and and also stars like always have been. No, I mean, countries that they don't have like a great team per se, but they do have a few stars. For example,
Stars.
I can think of Italy. I can think right now. I can think of Norway. I can think of Ivory
Holland.
Coast. I can think of Belgium, and
Yeah.
so next year we have rules changing. I think I don't agree with rules changing, but also I think I've been making memory. And I think that I've never agree with the new changes, but then
Yeah.
I just I just get used to it, and that's it. So, how do you see the future of Taekwondo with these changes? With these new countries on the spotlight, with all the changes in WT on the Olympic cycle. What do you think? I mean, in general, because it is a lot of stuff's going on right now, but in general.
So let me start with the new cycles, the 2 years and 2 years. That's new, and I think that this year you saw some stars from some big countries taking it very easy, very calm, and you're going to see a different change in energy in the next from June of next year. You're going to see it starting with the Grand Prix because it's going to be a 2 year sprint for the top five, right? Top
Yes.
six, so that's different. We had a long time to build up. Now you're gonna have a short, fast time. So I think that's number one. Number two, like you mentioned, the countries, you're right. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Tunisia, you know, all these, forget about Russia, Iran, there's so many countries that are good in Taekwondo nowadays. And I can give Mexico a defense here, United States a defense, because in the golden era of those countries, of our countries, we fought, once or twice a year, and you fought about 3 or 4 good countries. But now you could fight a South American country that's good. You could fight an African country that's good. A Middle Eastern country is good, and for sure an Asian or European country that's very good. So even the bad countries have have a possibility of having a good person. So the world is way bigger, way more diverse, and way more complicated nowadays. As far as the rules, listen, I don't like taking away the head, video
Yeah,
replay.
me neither.
But Chava, Boris, in your era and in my era, would you guys ever flinch that someone puts a card up and we videotape it for 10 minutes and we finally see that this touched and you won the match? You know what I'm saying? Think
Yeah.
about that. You said it, Chava. You said we've accepted it. We've accepted that this wins the match, and we're like, wow, he did it. It's horrible for our sport. So let me give you another thing. The chest protector. We see people hit the chest protector all day, and we don't say nothing. We're just like, kick it again, do it again. We've adapted that. That didn't score, that scored, do it again, do it again, do it again. So we're gonna do the same with the head. You watch. They're gonna
Yeah,
touch or they're gonna scrape,
absolutely.
and you're gonna keep going. Now, I don't like when someone gets their headgear knocked off over there, or somebody gets. I saw it at the Croatia Open, a KO, a knockout, a spin hook kick, knocked out, count to 10. The kid didn't move, 0 points on the board. How do you explain that? Now, I know the referees are supposed to count and they're supposed to video and they can be fixed. But what if they didn't, Chaba? What if they didn't? What if they didn't, Boris? What if they didn't, like a referee didn't do it? And I just listened to this new update. They said there has to be trembling, shock to the head, bleeding, staggering, falling down. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the big match in the quarterfinal or the gold medal match that I'm not going to say a country, a big country goes like this. And the referee counts or pulls out their card. And yes, they see it. I'm like, did they just abuse that rule? Because this didn't cause them to stagger, to snap their head,
Yes.
bleeding. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of subjectivity in there, and I do not like it. Bad.
Yes,
Bad
I'm gonna say the name of 2 big countries, maybe Korea, maybe China. I mean, you don't have to be like a
But the
genius
scoring
to know that
system
it will happen in there.
the scoring system that's supposed to make easier for everyone, but now it's
Yes.
a big problem. So, and I think that there's no, it's gonna, this is gonna really hard to fix, I think. So if they take out the card, could be better for everyone for sure.
Do you think this? Do you think? You've heard this? They always say we want the the matches to be more dynamic and spectator friendly. They always use those two, dynamic and spectator. And I'm like, first of all, excuse my language. Can I curse on this? Can I curse? Can I swear?
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't have any fucking spectators. The only spectators we have are Taekwondo people, and they know what the fuck is going on. So stop acting like there's random people showing up going, hey, what is this sport? No, they're all Taekwondo people. Stop it. Second of all, you're not making it more dynamic. You're making it worse. You're making it slower. You're making it more static. And you're giving more influence and power to the referees. It was supposed to be more objective, right? The electronics were supposed to be objective, but now it's way more subjective because the coaches have no power and the referees have a lot of power, a lot of subjective power, grabbing, pushing, low kick, a lot of things like that that just are very scary if you're trying to be a top level coach or a top level athlete. I don't think it's good. I don't like the direction, and I'm not trying to be an old school person because I respect the new kids. I think these new kids are fabulous. What they can do with their legs, what they can do with their bodies. I mean, the good people, they can kick. Those guys can roundhouse kick, fast kick, double kick, back kick, axe kick. They can do everything. But I think the system and the rules make them stand there and just use their front leg and just be boring.
Yes.
And the WT can put all the highlight films up in slow motion. Everything looks good in slow motion. But it's not really that good. You have 2, 3, 4 good fights out of 100. Nah.
Yeah, and also we have to understand, or the people that makes the rules have to understand that athletes are not there to give a show. Athletes are there to score points and win a match. So they don't care. I always put the example of Carlos Sansores. His fights are the most boring fights ever.
Sure.
Ever. But he knows what he's doing because he's winning the matches. So even though there's no big spectacle on Sansores fights, he wins. And he knows how to do it because he knows how to make the other people to fall into his game and win the match. And that's what it takes.
Yes. Listen, Sansores, first of all, I'm a Sansores fan, and I know it's not popular to say because he's, like you said, he's not so dynamic and stuff, but that guy's a problem. I think he needs to get a little bit more cardio, and a little bit more active, but he could win he's the one guy off the top of my head that can win an Olympic medal for Mexico. I know it sounds crazy, but his body, his size, his style, it's a problem for a lot of people. He has to have a good day. It has to go perfectly, but he has the chance to win a medal in the Olympic Games for Mexico. And you're right. I felt bad for him at the World Championships at the Olympic Games when people were criticizing him and stuff like that. But I'm like, the dude got to a bronze medal match and he got to the last second with Czech Cisse, who's arguably one of the top athletes in the last, 3 Olympic Games. And he was very close to stealing that match, with his style. So to your point, Java, yeah, he may not be dynamic and spectacular, but he knows what he's doing. And I think a little adjustment, he could be there.
He needs someone professional, Master Moreno. He needs someone professional, like with a direction. That's it. And of course, he desperate everyone, and they start making wrong decisions, and it's their game. And I don't like that style, but he make it. It's perfect for that. So for sure, he needs a direction. Of course, he needs to be an athlete, 100%. And he got something special. That's why he got a medals. So but if nobody say that, he probably thought he's good. You need someone to tell you the truth. right?
Listen, you know, I don't know what you guys think. I mean, we're talking about this, and if I'm not mistaken, I think two of the bigger Mexican athletes right now are not with the federation. They're training by themselves. And listen, you guys know I trained Briseida Acosta, and she, you know, elected to leave the federation, and they allowed her to. She lived in Miami. We trained, we competed, and she made the Olympic Games. But it wasn't a good scenario. It wasn't the right thing to do because she. I'm just speaking from personal experience. She felt isolated. She felt not supported. She, you know, she just didn't feel like she was part of the Olympic team and stuff like that. And then I don't care how good you are or what things you're doing. If you have that kind of that, I don't know, that back and forth in your heart and your brain, it's not a good place to be going into Olympic Games. So I don't know if Carlos feels like that or, you know, other athletes feel like that, but somehow, some way, they got to figure it out and get back together. I think that's the best remedy for them. I'm not saying that they can't have individual coaches in a group environment, but I think being by yourself is not the best. It's not bad. It can work, but it's not the best. I think it's better if you're with people. If you look across the room and you see your compatriots, you know, going for the same thing as you, and you could have time with your personal coach. You could have time with your personal training partner. But I think when you're with everybody, I think it's better. I think it's a little bit better. And that's, you know, I know Carlos right now. Man, I shouldn't talk out of turn. I don't know if he's living in the center or training by himself. I think he was training by himself. And you know he'll do okay, but it could be better. I think the conditions could be better for somebody like him, and he deserves it. No matter what you want to say about the guy, he's got three world championship medals.
Yes,
He's a world champion, silver, bronze, whatever. Like that kind of guy deserves respect. That kind of guy deserves some kind of like, how can we help you? Not listen. Don't baby him. Don't give him everything. Like, oh, you're the superstar. No. But work with this guy and uplift him because it's good for the country. And if he get a medal, you all look like rock stars. You all look like superstars.
yes.
No matter how messed up the federation is. I said that about the USA. Maybe you guys know I don't have a good relationship with the USA Taekwondo. And for example, at the last Olympic Games, they got saved by one medal, a bronze medal that wasn't expected by Christina Teachout. She got a bronze medal that saved them. Imagine USA goes there with a rock star like CJ Nichols, a rock star, and they get no medal. That would be disastrous. And they got that one medal, and it saved them. Mexico could do the same thing, and they need it right now. You just told me they're 5 or 6 in the hierarchy with the sports. If they could get an Olympic medal again, back up. They could get back there.
Yes.
They could get back there.
And that big guy is a hero for the small ones. I mean, everybody in Mexico love that guy for sure. But I mean, people like us that we have a program, we have a different point of view, and we've been athletes too, so we know what we need because we are watching from the other point of view. So, I mean,
hey, do you guys think Mexico should hire internally? You think Mexico should hire internally from a coach, or you think they should look externally?
No, I think we have a problem of organizational problem. I think we have good coaches in Mexico, a lot of good coaches in Mexico.
Me too.
And
me too.
But I think that there's no room for. I mean, this year we had 9 national championships.
What?
So 9 national championships throughout the year.
Yeah, we have that competing for sure. Nobody understands. I'm your side. And you know the worst part is not like we have a calendar in January that says, okay, we're gonna have 9 national championships. We don't have that. Before.
So time goes and suddenly national championships next month.
What?
And so on 9 times throughout the year.
And you don't know how much money you have to pay for that. You don't know how much money the parents have to pay.
And it's required. Everybody has to do it.
Yeah.
Even top guys.
That's the thing. That's the thing. They are not they are pre-selectives. So then you have an evaluation. You have an evaluation, and they tell you evaluation from the ones that won a medal on the national number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you didn't go to one of those 4, then you can't go into the evaluation.
Wow.
So yes, it is that fucked up.
And you know what's sad for me? I don't know because I don't live here, but that's economically, that's very difficult for a lot of
For sure.
Yes.
For
Mexican
everyone.
athletes.
Yes.
Right?
So you know what
they
they
live in another
say.
country. Mentally, they live in another country. They believe everyone can pay for that.
Yeah, of course, the ones that are on the top, the ones that are that have like some of a career right now, they do the effort and they can pay for those events.
Travel.
But most people can't.
Yeah.
Because you know that you have to pay, let's say, $100 for each event. Let's say $100, but that's for the entry fee. You have to travel. You have to buy your plane ticket, food, hotel, and then the entry fee. So those
If you're
$100
under 18,
become 500.
your parents have to go too.
So you guys are getting the man. You guys are following the American model, and it's not looking good in America. And that's you're getting the people that could pay. You're not getting the people that are the best people.
Yes, but unlike what happened in the USA, which I think in the USA you already know how many times you have to fight throughout the year. So you have a calendar. You know what are the events coming.
True.
So in Mexico you don't have that. You just wake up one day, check out Facebook, and there's a national championship next week
in 7 days.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you, because if I'm not mistaken, I think you just got a new technical or they just got I can't say you, they got a new technical committee. Who decides that? Is that like, I mean, do you know, is it like, man, that's
no brain guy. That's called no brain guy. Here at the program. And outside.
Well,
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, listen, I know they got some new guys. Hey, oh shoot, look at that. I know they got some new.
Scary.
They got some new.
It's scary, dude.
They got some new people on their technical staff, so hopefully they will speak up. You know, I know. Listen, this is why I love what you guys do, and I told you guys my podcast. I'm with Terrence Jennings and Herbert Perez, and listen, we're just like you guys. We're trying to be the voice of reason because it's not right. You guys were athletes. You guys, you understand what you had to do, and again, different eras, okay, but something is off. And when you're telling me that you're giving people 2 months or 2 weeks to tell them that there's a competition, how can the best people go? How can they afford it? No,
there's no way.
There's well, yeah, that's sad. That's sad story. It's very sad for us, and it's annoying. And you know, for Mexicans, this is not good, Master Moreno. This is really bad. And I mean, we are working on that. It's a different point of view. We're trying to make something for the country, and people knows what's going on inside. Nobody knows why. There's a lot of years, almost 10 years, not almost 10 years, more than 10 years like that. So what happened, right?
Listen, Mexico, like I said, you guys have the population of Taekwondo practitioners is just ridiculous. The awareness of how big Taekwondo is in this country, you know, is crazy. The success that you've had since the 70s all the way to now, you know, well, it's been a little bit rough now. Like I said, historical, you know, results. And then, you know, think about like all the resources that could be available to them. I personally think that Mexico should be or could be a superpower. in the world. They should be top 4, top 5 in the world all the time. I really think that highly of the athletes and the coaches. I look at some of the coaches here, and they're good, man. They know what they're doing, but somebody needs to bring them together. They could, I think they could do it, but it's going to take some time. Like I said, it's going to take some time because when it's bad, it's hard to switch it around. It's going to take some time because now, I mean, let's be honest, the fans, right? The people, the media, they're almost expecting you to lose. And when you lose, they're going to say again, what happened? Is it the coaches? Is it the athletes? Is it the doctors? Is it the president? What is it? What is it? What is it? And it gets more and more and more pressure. And I think that's where Mexico's at right now. They got a lot of pressure to be successful. That's scary. That's a tough place to be. Tough place.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to be a long process. Like you said, there's a new people inside of that project. I really hope they make something. But the truth is now people knows what happened. I'm sad with that because they believe we are stupids. And yeah, for sure. They believe that. Like they can make the same mistake again and again and again. And the coaches, they said, okay, I have to say yes because my students, if not, they cannot compete.
No.
So if everyone think the same, this is not going to
It never
change.
changes.
Never.
Yes.
You're right.
Never.
You're right.
So the truth is you have to put something for receive something. And nobody wants to do that. That's the problem.
Yeah, the way I see it right now, so on the last show we presented a document from WT that was an ultimatum to the Mexican Federation. So and then the Mexican Federation responded by adding these guys, Victor Estrada, Memo Perez, and some others to the. So I'm gonna tell it the way I see it right now. So if these guys went in, they should at least ask for an explanation to the Mexican Federation about the document because that's an official document. So if they don't do it, then for me right now, they're just useful idiots. With all the respect for their careers and
Yes.
and,
But
and
we're
the
human
morals and
beings
the
for
respect,
sure.
but they are idiots. They are useful idiots. So right now, I received a message today from a guy that tells that that is the Mexican Federation told them that they made it like they sue World Taekwondo on the TAS and they won, which is like a very temerary thing to say because and I told him, well, this is very easy. So first of all, nobody has ever won to WT on the TAS. Never, ever. And you're telling me that the guys that couldn't even make their general assembly on time did it? Give me a break. So starting with that. But let's say it's true. Let's say it's true. Then they must have a document or something to show that they actually won a demand on the TAS to the World Taekwondo. So if they had a document, then things are different. But they don't have a document. They are just they want the people to take their word for it. So makes no sense. Makes no sense. So that's the way things are right now. So, Coach, we can be talking for hours, but just to go, to go closing with this show that I'm loving. I would like your opinion on this. So you told us a few moments ago that when you get to Brazil, they are not concentrated on one place. They are on several spots with the coaches and everything. So I believe from the Tokyo Olympics, which were weird Olympics, most of the countries that have worked like that make good at the Tokyo Olympics, because of the pandemic and everything. But now I see like a trend with this. So I see that now more and more countries are adopting this like this hyper personalization program. For example, 2 years ago in Baku, I saw the Spanish team that, you know, the big stars came along with. I mean, they all came along as Spain, as the Spanish team, but the big names came with their own sparrings, with their own coaches, with their own medics, with their own team. So, what do you think of this? Do you think this is a trend that will come over the entire world of Taekwondo, or just an alternative?
I think it's I don't think it's a trend, of course. I don't think it's ultimately good. And I'll tell you why, because it breaks down the federation, it breaks down the real team, concept. I saw the world championship right now with Spain, speaking of Spain, and I saw them all isolated, and it didn't work out well for them this time. And it's not because they're good, but it creates division. It creates division unless you have the high performance technical director brings everybody in and says, let's work together. I'm going to give you time, but work together. But when I see these guys over there training themselves and these guys over there training themselves, that's not a team. You just have a bunch of individuals. And so you know what happens? I call it frenemies. They're friends and enemies. And they sit back there and they're like, oh yeah, oh, good job. Oh, you lost. Oh, I'm sorry. They're happy. They're happy if you lose. So you need to, I think that, like I said, the trend is that, but I think the strong countries won't let those individual coaches be the dominant one. They have to assimilate. They have to work within the program, within the system, and then it can work. If not, I don't think it'll be successful in the long run. It might be okay here or here. You might have these little spikes, but I think for the long run, I don't think it's good. So I like the individual training. I like the accepting. Listen, I'll give you a great example. We can end with this. Maria Clara. Maria Clara, she came from a program and the coach had some situations, left the country. The program got dismembered. And her boyfriend became her coach. He's not a coach, but he became her coach. Sat in her chair a couple events and did well. She won. She did great. And so as time went on, like I had the opportunity. I was supposed to work directly with Maria. Maria's the athlete that I was supposed to work with. But I could have said, get out of here, take off. But if it isn't broke, I'm not going to fix it. I'm like, come on, come with us, be part of our team. He was quiet. He was respectful. He worked with them. He worked with the team. He assimilated. I didn't let him stand over there by himself and do whatever he wanted to do. We worked together, and it was for the right reason. They were doing well. Why am I going to mess that trend up? Now, if he does something wrong, he disrespects the program, he disrespects the Brazil Federation, he embarrasses us, something like that. Okay, that's a different story. But he didn't. He worked with us, and he did a good job. I have nothing to say, but give me a high five, give me a hug. Awesome. It's good for you. It's good for her. It's good for me. It's good for all of us. So I think if you do that hybrid, you got to make sure you control it the right way, and then it can be positive. That's my opinion.
Okay, and now to end with this, I want to know your opinion in this. Of course, this is like a rough matter. If you want to answer, I understand. It is okay. But what about this? Talking about the new rules. So I am feeling like certain preference for some brands. Let's say, okay, let's go back to Guadalajara, to the World Championships in Guadalajara. Daedo messed up big time, so they lost the Olympic Games. They introduced KPMP, and then KPMP on the Olympics, I think they messed up big time with the headgear. And now we have this. So that I don't mess up, you change the system, you change the PSS. But now KP and P mess up, and you change the rules. So I think I see like a little coincidence right there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then
Listen.
and then we go to Wuxi, and the same. I mean, in Wuxi, we realize, or at least I realize, that we are not ready for the video replay to the face disappearing. And I'm with, and I totally agree with you about the, okay, so nobody says anything about the chest protector, but what bothers me with the face is that what they are saying, the reason that they are giving to remove the video replay on the head. I mean, I understand it is coherent, but I think it is a lie, and that is what bothers me. I don't know what's your take on this, because I mean, this really bothers me because I understand what they are saying, but I think they are not being honest.
Chavi, I agree with you, and you're 100% correct. Let's go back to the big problem. Back when they first put in PSS in 2000, after the 2008 Olympic Games, it was because the referees couldn't do their job. That's what it was. There was too much cheating. There was too much, whatever. It was too subjective. But they never fixed that. So they put in a crappy PSS, and it made the sport worse. And then the just went to Dato. Dato went to KPP. KPP now with Weight Champ. They just keep changing the system, and we never address the real problem. Boxing can do it, wrestling can do it, judo can do it. You can do a combat sport without having electronics. You don't have to have electronics. So you're right. They're saying that it's because the Olympic time. That's the other thing. They always scare us. Oh, we're not going to be in the Olympic Games anymore because if we mess up. They said if we didn't get electronic scoring, we wouldn't be in the Olympic Games. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But now they're saying that the video review takes too much time. They love it, but it's the Olympic, broadcasting. It's always out of whack, and we can't have that. We got to speed it up. It wasn't for the betterment of the sport. It was for the Olympic timing. That's what they said.
Money.
And so
money.
Yeah. And so you're right. And so they changed the rules, and they changed. It's kind of like that's not in the ethically. That's not what it's right for our fighting sport, for the athletes and for the coaches that actually fight and coach and develop. You're changing because TV didn't like that the timing was off. Like it's just either fix the electronics or don't. How about that? Just fix the electronics. Make it work. Spend $1 billion. Fencing did it. Fencing has got the most sophisticated electronics out there. Why can't Taekwondo do it? I know it's expensive, but WT, pull up your pants, spend some money, quit going and drinking, soju, and do it. I'm being serious. Fix it, man, because every electronics has been not that good. You know what the best one I like? I like KPMP Generation 1. For me, I got that in my gym. To me, that's the best one. But I mean, the headgear score, the body score. But to your point, they just keep changing the system, and it's not correct. And now they're changing the rules. Before they changed just the system. Now they're changing the rules.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's unacceptable. That's not right. They got to fix it. They got to fix the system or fix the referees. And let's see what we can do.
Yeah. So, Coach Moreno, I would like to thank you for spending this Saturday evening with us. It's been a pleasure have you here. You're always you said it on the backstage. You're not a boring person. I enjoy every conversation I've had with you, and I would like to thank you also for the kind words that you say to us. Also for your disposition on being here with us on the closing of the 6th season of this podcast. So thank you very much. And I know you're in Mexico right now, so thank you. I will not say where you are because I don't want fans to go buzz you, but
they might come and get me after this podcast.
No.
No,
I think
listen, really,
I think
We
there's
invite
more
you
people that
here
want to
to
take
take
a
you
photo with
out.
you than to shoot you.
listen. Like I said, thank you so much for inviting me on. I know we always talk every time we come to competitions. Boris, I know you for a long time. Especially my wife is super fond of you. She always talks highly of you. So keep doing what you guys are doing. Your guys' podcast is great. You're a voice of the people, and you're funny. So so keep it up. It makes it entertaining for everybody. So thank you for having me, and Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, drink a lot of beer
For
or
sure.
whatever.
Master
And
Moreno.
we'll see you. Let's do it again in 2026. Let's do it again.
Sure,
You're
absolutely.
welcome. Master Moreno,
All
thank
right,
you
guys.
thank you for coming to the podcast, and congrats for your podcast.
Thank you.
And what a beautiful t-shirt you have, Master Moreno. Can you show us?
Look at
We
that,
have
man.
to
It's a
change
Warehouse
that.
15.
We have to do something like we're gonna give you the program. Sorry, not sorry. This is good.
Do you know what that means? Sorry, not sorry. I don't know if you watch my podcast. So our podcast is, if we say something to offend you, sorry, not sorry. So that's
Yeah,
our
you're
line.
right.
So it's funny. A lot of people come up to me, they're like, sorry, not sorry. Ha ha ha. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of funny.
we have to.
Good stuff.
We're gonna send you a
Uh,
t-shirt for the program. Of
I
course,
will wear it.
M size because you are always fit, always doing push. Look at that. Chicken
Yes.
is show yours.
Not
Look at
like
mine,
Boris
Master
that
Moreno.
he's holding on to small size like for 10 years now.
10 years, bro. Yeah. I up
Fun.
10 kilograms, I down 15 and just moving. And Master Moreno is the same. It's a
No,
picture.
no, no.
Congrats. You look
Good.
like
Uh,
it's baby face all the time, Master Moreno. 20
I
years.
shaved.
Yeah,
I
you
got gray
should.
hair though. I got some gray hair. God.
Oh, Master Moreno, thank you very much. Enjoy your
All right.
vacation. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. And we honestly wish you the best for 2026
Thank you.
as a person, as a coach, as a professional in Taekwondo. Keep
Thank
the
you.
hard work. And again, thank you very much for being here. Boris, muchas gracias por esta sexta temporada, por este año 2025 que pues vamos cerrando y pues seguimos.
Gracias, mi chiquilín. Un placer perder mi tiempo contigo. Y gracias a toda la gente que nos escucha, que se quedó aquí. La verdad, fue un extraordinario año y cerramos como se tenía que cerrar. Con lo mejor, con broche de oro, con una excelente persona, con una excelente familia. Yo conozco pues a su familia. He ido hasta allá Miami, conozco el warehouse. Tuve la oportunidad de conocer el warehouse, fíjate.
Mm.
I've been there, Master Moreno, the
I know.
warehouse a
I
long time
know. I
ago.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
You are here, Master Moreno. Discúlpame,
Thank
chiquilín.
you.
Don't be jealous. My heart's too big. Nada, Merry Christmas. Saludos a
Thank
todos.
you,
Muchas
guys.
gracias. See you next year.
Saludos a todos, muchas gracias a los que estuvieron aquí con nosotros, José Anselmo, profesor Roberto Beltrán, Clau Valdés, Carlos Silva, Rojitas Channel, Coach Terrence Jennings, thank you for being here, Christopher López, por supuesto Marta Raura que estuvo aquí saludándonos, y a toda la gente que llegó por ahí a medio podcast. Ya saben que esto queda grabado en todas las redes de Trashkwondo, síganos en todas. Vamos a tomar un descanso por las fiestas decembrinas y pues ya saben que en enero no trabajamos porque estamos organizando todo lo del año. Entonces, pues por ahí estaremos anunciando pronto la séptima temporada, porque sí va a haber una séptima temporada, el público lo pide.
O sea que si no, no.
Sí, no, si no lo pidiera el público, pues no.
Me vengo enterando de esto, chiquilín, ahorita.
Era la sorpresa de la noche.
Mm.
Muchas gracias a todos. Recuerden también que si así lo desean, pueden disfrutar esto en formato podcast en todas las plataformas, incluidas las más populares como son Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio y donde sea que escuchen sus podcasts. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí, no solo hoy, muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí este año en esta séptima temporada y nos vemos pronto. Coach Moreno, thank you very much again, and we'll meet you on the road next year.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yes, Boris is hilarious. Oh, that's good. That's good.